Hi everyone, welcome to Chem 11. This is Dr. Nowley and I'll be your instructor for lecture and lab this semester. The purpose of this video is really to welcome you to the class and for me to discuss some of the most important components of this class that's going to be different than other classes. One of the first things that I want to point out is the class website itself. This is where I'm going to put all the information about the class, so you should really save this URL right now on your computer or on your phone or in your tablet so you can keep going back to it. Another thing I want to point out is throughout the video, I'm going to ask you questions and the video will stop, and unless you answer this question, the video will not continue. So that's one of the things that is unique about the videos that you have to watch in this class. So to answer the questions, you're going to have to go to the website and basically do a little detective work. Click on the different links and try to find an answer to that particular question on the website. All the questions that I asked, the answer will be available on the website. So you shouldn't worry that I'm going to ask a question that you cannot answer. Now for the rest of the video, I'll just discuss the most important thing about this class that's going to be different than all the other classes. Okay? Now, before I get there, let me just mention something that's also quite important, which is the calendar for the class. You can see that that's listed here on the right side. And if you click on one of those items in the calendar, it will tell you what we're going to do on the day. Lab will be listed as lab, and lecture will be listed as lecture. Anytime that you are not sure what we will be doing in lecture or in lab on that day, you should always come back to the calendar and take a look at the description for the day's activity. Now, one thing that's majorly different between this class and other classes is that this is a class that's set up to be a flipped classroom. There's actually a description of what this is on the website itself, so you can read in details exactly how this works and how it's going to help you in learning chemistry. In fact, there's student testimonials here about how effective this particular method is for a chemistry class. The short of this is that you would be asked to watch a number of videos prior to coming to lecture, and during lecture itself, we will take time to discuss the videos, the questions in them, as well as work on more questions that are of increasing difficulty, both individually as well as in groups. So let's see how this works. If you click on Lecture 1 in Lecture Topics, you see that I've arranged this so that there's a topic 1A, for example, in Lecture 1, and there's a set of videos here linked to that particular topic. If you click on that link, it will take you to a video. For example, the first one looks like this. And the only thing you need to do is just play that video, watch it, and answer the questions in that video, the same as you're answering questions in this welcome video. Once you finish watching that video, then you can move on to the next one, and the next one, and so on. As you watch these videos, as you complete them, I will get a message because I'm using a program to track people who are watching these videos. And I would get a message that tells me that you've watched the video. And as a result, I can give you a point for watching that video. Okay? So when you complete all of these videos, then you can move on to the next one and the next one and so on. Now, for every lecture meeting, there's a number of these that you have to complete. So how do you know how many you have to complete? Well, it's easy. You go back to the home page, and on the calendar, it will tell you which topics we are covering on that day. For example, if I click on February 18, it says topic 1A to 1D. That means that if I go back to lecture 1, I'm going to have to watch the videos in topic 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D. As you can see, that's quite a number of videos, but it looks more intimidating than it actually is because the total time that you spend watching this video is actually not that much. I added all of these total times from 1A to 1D, and it's about 1.5 hours. Okay, So in fact, in a regular chemistry class, when you do homework, you're doing way more hours than 1.5. And that's really the only homework you have to do, is watch these videos. Now, there's an additional thing you have to do here, which is to write notes on those videos. That's going to be your lecture notes. What I've done is I've provided a template for you so you can easily have a pretty nice set of lecture notes. If you click on this link, it will download a Microsoft Word file that basically set it up as a note for this particular topic, which is topic 1A. Here's what the note looked like for topic 1A. Okay? And as you can see, it's already pre-filled with stuff that you need to know, and you just need to complete some of these blanks here. And by the time you finish, you have yourself a nice set of lecture notes for that particular topic. Now, those lecture notes have to be turned in on the day of the lecture, again, for you to get credit for completing that assignment. So again, for example, for topic 1A to 1D, it's all due on February 18. So that means all these lecture notes have to be turned in on that day. So there are 4 lecture notes that are due on that day. And this is really not any extra work, because if you're in lecture, you'd be taking notes anyway. So really the only thing I'm asking you to do is to turn in those notes regularly so I can check on them and then return it to you in the next lab or lecture meeting. Okay, so here's the great breakdown component of the syllabus. And I want to highlight the first part of this, which is that all the assignments that I just talked about, which is completing the lecture videos by the deadline, answering the questions in the lecture video, and then turning in the notes by the deadline, all of those are activities where you're going to get points, okay? And all of these points at the end of the semester will be worth 6% of your grade. So it's really a good chunk of your grade is coming from those activities. In fact, it's worth more than the entirety of your lecture quizzes, which are quizzes you would take in class, okay? And so I want to emphasize how important it is that you do this for every lecture meeting as well as lab meetings that we're going to have in class. Remember that I have a program that tells me basically who turns in the video by the deadline. And of course, I can check who turns in the lecture notes on the days that we have those lectures. So if you don't turn it by the deadline, then you don't get those points. And at the end of the semester, of course, you're going to get a lower grade than what you would have otherwise gotten if you just complete these assignments by the deadline. The last thing I want to point out is that we will have a number of extra credit opportunities, which is going to add to your grade beyond what you've done in class, from your assignments and from your tests, exams, labs, etc. So all the extra credit assignments would be written on this page that's titled extra credit. So in fact, if you look here, the first assignment, which is to watch the welcome video and complete it by the first day of class, will get you 2 points. Okay, that's really all I want to spend time talking about in this welcome video. All the other components of the website would be discussed on the first week of class. I just want you to be ready, because this class is going to be different than other classes that you've taken, and I want to make sure that you know what you need to do in order to succeed in this class. So again, everybody, welcome to Chem 11, and I look forward to seeing you on the first day of class.